Yo guys, what's going on? Welcome to the video. I hope everyone's having a good day. I'm just going to be doing a video on the top 5 guns of Modern Warfare and just some general opinions on the game. So just going to start off by saying, I think the game's really good. It's got a lot of issues, but we all know Call of Duty normally starts with a lot of issues. Hopefully they're working towards fixing them. Obviously they did the day one patch and they started off by fixing the spawns. Better than they were. But yeah, so I think the game has great mechanics. I think the game feels really good, especially on PC, which obviously you can tell that's what I'm playing on. Is the game perfect? Definitely not. It needs a lot of changes, but I think it's great. So, let's start with the top 5 guns. As you can see, actually the first one I'm going to be playing with is the AUG. We all know, yes, the M4 is the best gun by far. I didn't want to start with that. It seems a bit cliche. Everyone on YouTube's talking about the M4 and how amazing it is. It's amazing. It's really great. Yeah, it's overpowered. It's going to get nerfed, I hope. So I thought, why not start with the AUG? The AUG's actually, at the start of the game, before I realised how good the M4 was, I actually used this a lot. The AUG, to me, is actually a pretty balanced SMG. Has quite a decent range, it feels like, especially on PC. As you can see by some of the clips, it does really well in both close quarters, which you'd expect from an SMG, and also, actually, the AUG does pretty well to medium to long range. It's quite mobile, it feels good to shoot, doesn't have too much recoil, and I'm running suppressor on it. I'm not sure about the grip, but I'm not really going to go into the attachments too much. I mean, with the attachments, I would say use what makes you feel comfortable with that gun. I didn't even copy like the pro setups or anything like that. So yeah, I feel with the system there are definitely perks, or sorry, attachments even, that are definitely the best ones, yeah, undeniably. But I also think that it's about finding something that works well for you. Actually, interestingly, with the games that I recorded, I tried to do them succinct. So literally, just went in there, one take, played the game, played the next game, played the next game, played the next game, and equipped the guns like that. So I tried to get some nice clips of each of the guns, and you can just see what I can do with them, or what they can do, I guess you could say. Like there, you can see a really good example of the range. You know, that guy was probably medium to long range, especially for an SMG. And yeah, it's a really solid gun overall. So for the remainder of the clip, I'm just going to talk about my opinions of the game as it stands. So I would say on PC, it probably looks like the game's super fast paced, and I'm running really quick. The FOV does help; it makes the game feel faster. I would say the game on pubs, especially, can feel extremely slow. Mainly, I'd say because of people's play styles. People are very cautious walking around the maps. They have a lot of levels. I mean, as in like heights to the maps. They're stacked up with windows and roofs, and being able to get on top of vehicles. That creates, it creates a lot of options in pubs. Is it what you want? Probably not. I don't really know if I enjoy the map design. I feel like that's a criticism that everyone has. It's not new. But it's definitely something that I don't think can really be addressed. The map design can only be addressed by designing new maps, unless they're willing to change maps. I'm not sure if they've done that in the past. Counter-Strike is a really good example of a game that does edit maps post-launch of the map. I mean, yes, the maps have been around for a long time, but yeah, I don't know if Call of Duty would ever consider doing something like that. However, I don't think you can really expect designers to go back and remove levels of the map and remove buildings and windows and everything. But hey, new Call of Duty, maybe they did talk about breaking the boundaries and making waves. So hopefully we can expect the unexpected kind of thing. But yeah, so I really enjoy the game. Pubs are just so hit and miss. I feel like that people blame people camping and it's people's fault. I don't really think it is. I think how the maps are designed just really promotes a more static play style. For the video's sake, I played ultra aggressive, just tried to get clips of you guys and push because I didn't think you'd enjoy watching me run around, camp and just not run around. So yeah, I just tried to get a mixture of clips, trying to rush as much as possible, especially with the SMGs. I found it a little bit easier, but the game definitely promotes a more static style. The meme at the moment on Reddit, I guess, is you've got to adapt. Yeah, I think there's an element of that. I think that, like I said, the map design really promotes more static playing or a more static play style. Do I like that? Not really on pubs. I feel like with the leaning on PC has always kind of been in it, but the leaning mechanic is not really new to the COD franchise, but I feel like it's very good. You can get some disgusting angles where you can't even see people, which leads me into the next issue. Seeing people can be such an issue on this game. I don't know if it's a mixture of the color palettes or the visual style of the game. Well, I mean, I know one of the issues is the idea that they removed the red dot on the minimap when people shoot. I don't really know why they removed that. I don't think there's a valid explanation. Maybe to make the game more realistic. I don't know. Is the game realistic? More realistic than other CODs in the past, but I mean, people really been complaining about just not being able to see people, and it's a big issue. And especially with the leaning, you can just lean into a tiny pixel angle and take some absolutely ridiculous shots. So actually, I'm gonna go into the next gun here, the Kilo. Do I like it? It's okay. It's not my personal favorite at all, but it's pretty good. I'm running a suppressor on here. I don't think I normally would. I chucked it on just because I felt maybe if I'm rushing a bit more, people couldn't hear as well. I don't know. I don't know if it really worked, but I got a couple of clips just to kind of show you, there's an alternative out there to the M4. Would I use it over the M4? No, I wouldn't. I feel like the M4 is by far the most disgusting gun in the game, but the Kilo is a good option. I've seen lots of people use it. And yeah, I mean, just to mention more opinions on the game, Azir Caves, I think it's called. I think everyone agrees it's a pretty terrible map. I don't mind it as in regards to the size. I don't really know what makes it a bad map, but I just don't like how it plays. Middle of the map seems far too populated, as in the map seems too filled to kind of relate, or the map seems too filled to really promote a middle of the map. You'd expect the middle of the map to be a bit more open to allow for multiple gunfights and stuff of that nature. I don't really think Azir Caves kind of offers that. Anyway, that was just a tiny little bit on the Kilo. Now, let's be honest, the M4, yeah, it's probably the best assault rifle at the moment. The best gun in the game by far, out of any class. I've even referred it close quarters to SMGs. The only thing I think competes on it in close quarters is the shotgun. Is it the Olympia? The double barrel shotgun. You all know what I'm talking about. Everyone has died to that. That thing has got some disgusting range. I don't really know if they will nerf it. I hope they do for the game's sake, but is it realistic? I would say maybe, because that type of shotgun is used in like clay pigeon shooting, or like shooting birds, as in like hunting, I guess you could say. Maybe not that particular model, but you know what I mean. The style of the gun is used for that type of shooting. That's normally quite a reasonable range or a distance. So I don't know if they'll nerf it. I hope they do for the game's sake, but is it realistic? Maybe. The M4 though, it is what it is. You can see these clips. It's disgusting. The headshot multiplier on this thing is pretty much a 2-shot to the head. I think always. What I experimented early on with, which I didn't really include in the video, but maybe I'll touch on it for a second, is in the private lobby I attached the 10 bullet mag, the one that gives you the damage increase. That thing is quite inconsistent, but sometimes I'm pretty sure I was one-shot headshotting people with it. And yeah, that's pretty nuts. The gun doesn't need a damage boost. It definitely needs a nerf. The gun doesn't even feel like it has much recoil at all, if any. I mean, if you're putting a grip on that, it's just going to be disgusting. I split the clip into two clips, you could say, just to show you the different variants, because I know some people are running the Grenadier barrel, some people are, there's the Predator, whether it's Predator, I think, I'm not sure, multiple barrels, just showing you that in reality, both of them beam. It doesn't really matter what attachments you chuck on this thing, you're just going to be disgusting with it. And on PC, where you could argue maybe the aiming is a bit more fluid, you can use the mouse, it's it's a beam, literally a beam. If you're shooting the heads, you're going to be destroying people in this game. And you can see there, literally first, I don't even know, like minute into the game, just on a bloodthirsty real quick. On this map as well, I always run to this spot. It's just so crazy, just the amount of people that run out of spawn. 'Cause I don't feel like they've nailed the spawns yet. It's better, but on domination, on this map in particular, I feel like the spawns don't flip. But yeah, I don't need to say too much about the M4. You can enjoy the clips. We all know it's disgusting. But back to the game. It's great. I'm enjoying it. I really would like to see how competitive play plays out. I haven't really watched any tournaments. I saw a bit of like the Code Red 2v2 tournament, and it looked quite interesting. Nice little triple there. And yeah, from what I've seen people talk about, Sensor, FaZe Sensor, for example, he didn't like the fact that Dead Silence was this active, I guess you could say. I don't know how I killed that guy. That the Dead Silence is like an active field loadout or field. You know what I mean? The field attachment, maybe you say, that you have to pop in and only lasts for X amount of seconds. How do I feel about it? I mean, the fact that the steps are so loud in this game and really make for the majority of how you're killing people. Yeah, I feel like Dead Silence should be a perk, or at least allow for, I don't know, like instant use all the time. Really drastically reduce the charge up time, because otherwise I'm just sitting there with my volume whacked up until my ears hurt just to make sure I can hear every single guy walking around. Because in this game, it doesn't matter if you crouch, run, sprint, walk, you're hearing them. They just sound like elephants, and it's crazy. I'm not sure what they could do. They could globally turn down the sound for steps to combat that issue instead of maybe implementing a new perk. But I don't know. It depends what direction the studio wants to take with the game. The game does need a lot of balancing. All the guns do need a bit of tuning. I say all of them. The majority of them need tuning. The M4 for sure. Maybe the shotgun as well. But apart from that, I feel like the guns sound great. Sorry about the sound. I actually forgot to turn on the Elgato sound capture. So you're not going to be able to hear the game sounds. This will be fixed in the future video, so don't worry about it. I am aware. I'm sorry, but hopefully it's not too annoying. But yeah, I don't know if they need to change many of the guns, but the M4 definitely needs a change. So yeah, going into the next gun here, I'm pretty sure it's the MP7, and it is. The MP7, probably my second or maybe my favorite SMG of the lot at the moment that I've used. The AUG P90 and the MP7 are the three that I've really used quite extensively. This wouldn't be my ideal loadout here. This is the Piercer from the Armory. It's really great. The gun itself, it's quite fast firing. It's great sounding. I'm not sure if it's like the authentic old MP7, but it's definitely pretty good. I'd say it's also one of the best, if not the best SMG that actually allows you to rush. I mean, it has a really fast fire rate, not much recoil, and it just allows you to really compete against some of the other guns out there, which are arguably outclassing it. And that is a balancing issue that the game designers, the developers need to really take into account. If I have an MP7 in close range, you can see like it is disgustingly good, but in close range, I don't even feel confident against a really good player that I'm going to win with an SMG against the M4. The M4 is that good. Not to exasperate the issue of the M4 too much. Is the M4 the only issue with the game? No. Does it need nerfed or balanced? Yeah, definitely. I feel like SMGs in a whole, or as a whole, are good. They are really good. But are they really the king of close quarters, which I guess you'd argue maybe all shotguns are? But in regards to the fast firing guns, the rifles and the SMGs, are you really outclassing everything else with an SMG? No. Is COD designed like that always? No, not always, but you'd expect that if I'm someone who likes to play aggressive, get close to the enemies and use the hallways, and like in this section here, the close quarter advantage of an SMG, you feel like you should really be not punished for that. And at the moment with SMGs, it definitely feels like that. So the MP7 is a great gun. I like it a lot. And we're going to go into the P90. The P90 is probably the SMG that I've played with the most. And it's really great, especially when you unlock the second barrel. I'm not sure what it's called, but it's the most visibly changing one. It changes it to that really extended barrel on the end of the P90, and as you can see, this thing actually beams, has decent range. Is it again? It's not outclassing the M4 in my opinion when it comes to those close quarters encounters. It's fantastic. It's fast firing, minimal recoil with a suppressor as well. It's quite classic looking. Maybe not with that barrel in the end, but definitely brings you back to the old P90 days. And it feels good. It's a great gun to use and handle. I really enjoy playing with it. And yeah, I don't know what I'd want to see change to the SMGs overall. Maybe a damage buff in the shorter ranges. I don't know if they'd implement that, or maybe just nerf the assault rifles in general, because let's be honest, the assault rifles definitely dominate the game. The reason I left that clip in, just to just to say why I was thumbs upping, is that spawn was disgusting. It just shows you that, yeah, they've changed the spawns, but I literally spawned on a guy on C, and yeah, that definitely frustrated me a little bit, because I was trying to play as aggressive as possible to get some decent clips, just to show all the guns that I used. But yeah, so the P90 is great. Assault rifles do dominate at the moment. I didn't include it. The M16, I think it's the M16. I'm not sure. It's the one that kind of looks like the M14, but yeah, the M16 also definitely competes. It might not even be the M16. You know the one I'm talking about, the one with the faster fire rate. That again, I didn't include any clips. I don't personally like it too much, but it definitely competes. I mean, all the assault rifles you can't really go wrong with. They're all 3 to 4 bullet like kills. So yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to be beaming with all of them. As you can see here in this game, I got some nice clips of the P90, some nice double kills, and I think in every single game that I played, my KD was always positive. Not that it matters too much. My KD's nothing like fantastic overall. I think it's like a 1.8. It's not too bad, but rushing in this game is quite punishing at the moment. I don't know how they can fix that. Trying to make people's names more visible, or people's characters more visible, could definitely help. The map design, they're not going to change, I don't feel like. So I'm not sure if from a structural standpoint, there's anything that the developers can do to make people rush more. But yeah, just as a side note, the reason that I kept this clip in where I had the flashbang in my left hand and I was still shooting was just to show people that didn't know that you can still shoot, or you can still shoot while using a flashbang in throwing hand. I just thought it might be an interesting thing to include. But yeah, that's going to be everything for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please leave a sub and a like. It might not look like too much editing went into this, but cutting each little clip and trying to pull out the deaths or pull out the thing where it loads in, you know, like does that Battlefield-esque kind of cinematic drop in, took quite a while. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. Lots of MW content coming your way. Going to be doing some just live commentaries and some general gameplays, highlights, maybe even some frag movies. And yeah, so please drop a sub and a like in the video. If you want to know any of the loadouts, anything at all, my settings on PC, just pop it down in the comments. I'm quite active on YouTube, so yeah, just I hope you really enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.